Good afternoon, everyone. Or good day. I hope you're all doing well. Um, I'm grateful today that the topic I picked of staying in our bodies and with the feeling of our bodies as they relate to our consciousness, because kind of feeling a little meh today. Nothing terrible, just a little discomfort. And um, just as when we're doing a sound meditation, sometimes being in a really distracting place, or sometimes when in a really distracting place, the sound meditation is just the right thing. Sometimes when I have a cold, which I don't right now, but when I'm feeling something intense, then a physical meditation practice or one focusing on the body is perfect. I think it allows us to really take a deep, inquisitive look into what we're really feeling and where kind of the line between our physical sensation in our body ends and where sort of our story and our fears and our uh, understanding, as right or as flawed as it might be, about why we're feeling a certain way begins. And really that intersection right there, that separation is, it's easy to forget that it's there when we're trying not to think about how we're feeling, or when we're trying to focus that energy on something else. So with all of that in mind, let's begin by finding our posture and establishing ourselves in as comfortable a seated posture as we can in this moment. For some of us, that might be folded legs or kneeling, sitting in a chair, or any way that works for you. Let's do as we do sometimes and start at the top rather than at the bottom. Work our way down. Can we find our aligned posture of our head, not tilting one way or the other, not tipping one way or the other, left or right, finding really a feeling of levelness, balance there. Can we, while keeping it feeling level, can we tilt it slightly forward to increase the length in the back of our neck, just ever so slightly? Can we find relaxation in our eyes, either with closed eyes or very partially, narrowly opened eyes? Can we find an effortless gaze, one where our eyes are not seeking information, but are just allowing it to passively filter in, much like we can with our bodies? Can we find separation of the teeth so we're not clenching? Can we find a relaxed jaw? Can we find our ears above our shoulders? Can we find relaxation and space in our shoulders, allowing them to relax down and back? Not forcing, but allowing. Can we find a straight spine, neither tipped too far forward or too far back? Finding a place of stillness and height. Can we find a tilt in our pelvis, a tilt or tip in our pelvis that is neither rounding and taking the curve out of our lumbar spine, nor tipping too far forward and putting the force of compression in our low spine? Again, a good indicator is, where do you feel the tallest? Where do you feel the most in balance? Where do you feel the strongest? Can we bring our attention to our knees and to our shins, which may be touching the ground if we're kneeling or sitting cross-legged. If we're in a chair, can we bring our awareness to our sits bones and to our feet as they touch the floor? Let's for a moment just bring our awareness to what we call the feeling of grounding, both in yoga and in electricianing, where we touch the ground, where we are touching something outside of ourselves. Without telling a story about it, how does it feel? Feel warm or cool? Does it feel comforting? Does it feel confining? Now let's, as we always do, start with a few minutes on the breath. Taking 3 nice full deep breaths in, the fullest breath you have of the day. Let's make each one deeper. Breathing in, feeling your abdomen and your chest filling to the sides and the front and the back. And exhaling all of that air out. Repeating 2 more times at your own pace. Inhaling and exhaling. Now we formally begin. And just keeping our awareness on the breath for a few minutes. And the feeling of the breath as it enters the body, as it lingers, and as it leaves the body. Can you observe this process without controlling it? Exploring the how of just this inhalation, just this exhalation. When our mind takes us away from our concentrated awareness to thoughts secreted by the thinking mind, can we just notice without judgment where our mind is beckoning us? The quality of the distraction. And just as we let go of the holding of our breath every time we exhale, we use that same energy to release our attachment to that thought. And just let it be. Don't force it away. The air we breathe out is still very much around us. And just let go of that moment in the past. Come back to our feeling of the breath. Now that we've been for a few minutes stretching and conditioning our mind to focus on an object of embodiment, can we loosen our grip on the tightness, the focus around a single part of our breath? Allow that focus to fall away while keeping our concentration and awareness. Can we allow it to encompass? Can we allow it to grow, to hold gently the entirety of our felt experience of our body, sitting and in this moment of transition, after we've been sitting for a few minutes, if there's an element of discomfort that is particularly needy and has been distracting you this whole time, if there's something that you can do to show yourself compassion in the expression of your felt sense, shifting a foot, scratching an elbow or your chin, changing the crossing of your legs if it feels stagnant or achy, feel free to do that. Mindfully. Let that be the only thing you focus on while you're doing it. And then, after our distraction, we come back to our point of focus. Let's settle back into our embodiment, our sensation of the body sitting. Allowing all of the sensations to wash over us without focusing on anyone, without picking any arbitrary point of focus. Perceiving the macro instead of the micro. And when one part of our body does demand our attention, Can we loosely hold that whilst not letting go of everything else that we're holding? Can we hold it in the greater context? Can we allow for that feeling? Can we absorb it somatically, not labeling it as discomfort or pain or comfort or feeling of good? Can we simply observe its quality, that of hardness or softness, sharpness or dullness, warmth or cold? And if there's an emotional component to it, a feeling of disappointment or disgust or fear, can we observe and hold that too? Can that be part of our greater landscape of awareness? Can we allow it to be without dropping everything else? It's amazing to me always that though we're sitting still, or something approaching our notion of stillness, how active sitting can still be. A world of sensations coming and going. Of course, the breath hasn't left us. So our feelings around the breath, around inhaling and exhaling, the feelings of the muscles moving and contracting and opening, the feelings of the clothing on our skin as it moves, the feeling of air in our sinuses and nose, may be aspects of this bigger picture. And if we find ourselves still distracted by thoughts, either those random thoughts of things to do, what to do next, things in the past that we wanted to get done, that we want to remember to do again, to do better. Whether they're thoughts arising from our felt sense, a particular sensation reminds us of a story, We feel it invites us to erect a story around it, like scaffolding, trying to find a cause, trying to find meaning. Can we just notice that? Can we observe our tendencies around desiring meaning, desiring the ability to file all of our expressions of experience, and for just this moment, letting go of that, like sand blowing out of our hand at the beach. Allowing it to be there without dropping everything else. Allowing it to blow away in time when it is the right time. Allowing it to be part of this larger felt sense of our bodies right now. Where's your attention right now? Can it be on this expansive, open, passive space of receptivity and observation? Observation without judgment. Observation without desire to understand, without desire to focus on a particular part. And we'll sit for the next 5 minutes in silence. We'll ring the bell at the end to mark the end of our practice. Mm. As you bring your body and your awareness back to its connection to the world around you, to the air around you, to the seat under you, to the myriad of things you can see, slowly opening your eyes. Just stretch in some way that helps honor any part of your body that's especially loud and noisome right now. I'd like in the last few seconds to suggest the possibility of furthering this practice with a practice that I really appreciate, that of yin yoga, which is a very meditative yoga practice in which the poses are held for an extended period of time, and in the stillness of those poses, one is forced to confront discomfort. The discomfort may be a lot more acute than we experience in a simple seated posture. So if you're enjoying this and you want something a little bit more, I encourage you to explore yin yoga, either the several classes available at the Mindful Body, or any class you find on YouTube or at your local yoga studio if they're open in the business. Thank you for your time. Namaste.